So let's talk about Dune. This is interesting for me because I've never played an MMO. And I know. Star Citizen is it's an MMO in development. It certainly is that, but it doesn't play quite like an MMO does. And in playing this, I realized it's kind of hard to nail down what makes an MMO if you take away the multiplayer stuff, because it's really plays a lot like the kinds of games I liked as a kid. Just an action adventure RPG. And I know a lot of people jump into MMOs to play them solo, so it's not surprising. But as somebody who's never played an MMO before, I think this is way more approachable than most people who don't play MMOs would think. You call this an MMO light. I could see that. It seems like it was kind of meant to be a survival game, and it could have been on its own, but they added the sort of MMO aspect to it. Because from my perspective, I'm thinking it sounds like there's not really a cap on the amount of people who can be around. There's not really a limit on where you can travel to, so you can run into all kinds of bases and other players. It's got that sort of standard run these missions, help these factions, meet these people, do these things, just fill the map out and do that kind of stuff. What to you guys defines an MMO at its core? What separates an MMO from a survival game? Player count. So is the player count lower in this game? The thing that I enjoy most about this so far has actually been how much it does remind me kind of Star Citizen. When I go out and I'm traveling, I do have a lot more relative safety, I feel, because there's so much more stuff to do in a small amount of space. But when I'm in these kinds of places and I'm looking to travel out across this sand, it kind of, to me, is similar to looking at another planet in Star Citizen and needing to travel across space. And it's sort of like I don't want to say no man's land, but the area where things can happen. And I haven't gotten super far into this game, but I do hope that traveling across the sand does get a little more complex than just being about the worm. Yeah, I think it would be cool if maybe you're more vulnerable to other people's attacks when you're out in the sand, and so you have to keep in mind where other players are and stuff like that. Maybe that's a deep desert thing. But as somebody who's been in early game, it's been a really, really fun time getting to experience this format of like small centralized points of interest and activity, and then these wide spans of space that you have to navigate in order to play the rest of the game. And then all these systemic features that are built into it. The heat that you have to deal with. Is the sun up or down? Is it facing that direction? Well, then maybe you approach from here. Is the sun over there? Well, then maybe you're not set for going in that way. You got these storms that are roaming around. You got these ships that are looking out for you and showing spotlights on the ground. And this is all just early game stuff. I feel like I'm still in the first 10% of the game. So as far as like a systemic background goes, which is a lot of what drew me to Star Citizen, I actually feel like I get a lot of that from Dune too. It's not at all what I'm looking for from a game. I want a space game. I want to be in space stations and seeing different planets. I don't want to be trapped in the desert for hours on hand. But I do really like the experience that it's giving. And it's fun. It's fun. What can I say? A relatively finished early access game can be pretty freaking fun. There's something that sets this apart for me from Star Citizen. In this game, I don't feel like I'm in any way encouraged to pursue a certain thing besides just like whatever it is that I like. You have skill trees, right? You have skills that you're unlocking that you can use in battle. But overall, I don't feel like I want to be a miner or a cargo hauler or a medic or a ground soldier or a vehicle operator in this game. I just kind of feel like I'm playing an action adventure game and I fit in wherever the need calls in that exact moment. So for that reason, it's definitely not like a long-term kind of game for me. It's more of a gonna have fun in it kind of game. The thing that always drew me to Star Citizen was just the fact that you were living in an environment where everybody else was also living, but they were doing their own thing. They were focusing on their own thing, and you guys kind of bounced off each other and figured things out. What I love about this game is being able to explore, find outposts, see how some of the lore envelops in the gameplay, experience those dynamic features and the systemic features like the sand and the worm and the heat and the sun. Those are the things that really draw me to this. But I'm still waiting to see what kind of gameplay still ties me in further, and I think that's what the early game is there for. So I've only put in probably 10 hours maybe at this point, 9 hours. I'm not that far in, but I am excited to see where it goes. I know I'm late to the game, but we'll see. We're about to open a category for this in the Discord server, so anybody who does play this game and wants more people to play with or a place to chat about it or hang out and talk about it, you'll have plenty of that in our own Discord server. And we'll probably be doing some more gameplay in this, more streams here in the next few weeks, days and weeks, and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and then the base building. The base building is really nice. It's simple, but still gives me enough control that I feel like I'm actually putting something together. I actually haven't had a game where I've enjoyed base building all that much. Most of the games I've done it in were very unfocused on it. No Man's Sky kind of focuses on base building, but not a super huge ton. And then just some other games here and there that I've played that had a little bit of base building, like Astroneer. But this was the first one where I really felt like I was getting some pride in the base that I made. And then it was really cool when at the end of it all, we were flying around the game map and I could actually see my base off in the distance. Oh no, that was after the stream. That was after the recording, I think. This is basically just a mission to build a base and figure out what I needed to do to build a base. I got some supplies, we made it back to our home, and then we put the whole base together. And honestly, this was a good session. So yeah, I'm digging what this game has, and I'm looking forward to experiencing more of it, especially base building. But those are my quick and easy thoughts on Dune. And I guess more to come. I gotta actually figure out my thoughts so I can write a script and make a real video. Because when I do things unscripted, I never get the point across. Hopefully some point it came across today.